Hi, I'm Adi. Over the last 8 years, I've been on quite the journey. Back in 2017, I started my agency, True Growth. But 2017 was a very different time. This was before the explosion of remote work, way before ChatGPT, and back when I had a lot more hair on my head. And just as we were scaling in 2020, without even the courtesy of a knock, came the global pandemic. This honestly was a fight or flight moment for me. I could either stay back, weather the storm, and scale my agency, or choose a more predictable, safe path and move towards the safety of a stable job. For a while, I felt like a rock star who had given up his guitar for a desk job. While it felt like a defeat at the time, the next 3 years selling software at leading SaaS companies like HubSpot and PagerDuty opened my eyes to a scale of operations I had never imagined before. In my first year alone, I was carrying an annual sales quota, which was 5 times the total business my agency had done the year before. And there were hundreds of other reps like me at HubSpot. The mindset shift from thinking in thousands to thinking in millions was perhaps the most transformative experiences of my life. And this made me think about my agency very differently in hindsight. So you might be asking, why all of this backstory? Just give us the content we came for. You see, for a while now, I've been wondering what it would be like if I had to rebuild my agency from scratch. What it would be like if I could take all of the learnings from my past failures, everything that I learned in tech sales, all the research that I've been doing. So I decided to start this little YouTube series that I'm calling 2023 Agency GTM. Alright, with all of that out of the way, it brings me to the topic of today's video. Crafting the perfect offer for your agency. An offer that just flies off the shelves. You see, back in 2017, when I started my agency, we used to do anything and everything under the sun. Anything that would make us a bit of money. So we've done projects ranging from creating animated videos to building full-blown marketing funnels for businesses. So what makes an offer perfect? In my research, the insights that resonated the most came from Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offers. Alex Hormozi is a seasoned bootstrapped entrepreneur who has built multiple multi-million-dollar businesses and helped several others scale their business. His book focuses on making your offer so compelling that your customers just can't resist it. Now, the key learnings from Alex Hormozi's book can be summed up into 6 bullet points, which serve as a solid foundation for you as you sit down to craft your agency's offer. Point number 1, make it unique. You see, the services marketplace is extremely crowded. For every single broad service vertical, like let's say digital marketing, you go onto Google and you'll find hundreds if not thousands of vendors. Now, our offer needs to be so unique that it stands out from this ocean of vendors. How do we do this? Now, imagine you run a social media agency. Now, the obvious offer that comes to your mind is, hey, we'll manage all of your business's social handles and charge a fixed price for it. But that's what everyone else is doing. How do you stand out? Personally, if I were to build a social media agency, I'd probably double down on the whole reel stories trend on Instagram. Do a bit more research and build a rock solid process that helps businesses accelerate their website traffic with reels and stories. Now, this is a more specific offer. It makes it more unique because in an ocean of vendors that are offering a full stack social media management service, you're not afraid to be niche. You're not afraid to really just double down on the one trend that is going viral right now. So point number 1, be unique. Point number 2 is make it attractive. And the big part of making your offer attractive is to truly understand what pain points are your customers facing and design your offer in a way that it directly addresses those pain points, making it almost irresistible to your customer. Now, for example, if your agency is in the SEO business. Now, in the SEO agency marketplace, most agencies that I've interacted with offer X number of keywords for Y price, right? We'll rank you for these 5 or 10 keywords and you pay us a certain amount per keyword. Now, what does that really do to your business? Why do you want to invest in an SEO agency? At the end of the day, the real pain point for business is we aren't getting enough leads. That's why you end up going and talking to an SEO agency or an ad agency. So if you are able to cleverly reframe your offer into something like, we help you bring more qualified traffic that converts to your website. And we do this with SEO because by targeting the right keywords, we can get high intent traffic back to your website, which can help you in getting more leads and more conversions, which is the actual pain point that your customers facing. So the key is to make your offer more attractive. You really got to iron out the pain points, the problem statements first, and design your offer to directly address them. Point number 3 is provide an unmatchable value proposition. Don't just sell a product or a service, sell a transformation. Show how your offer will change your customers' lives for the better. Now, let's consider a content marketing agency this time. Lots of content marketing agencies are used to delivering bookkeeping units based rate cards, right? Like you'd be used to seeing, hey, we'll do 1,000 words for these many dollars per word. We'll do an article, we'll do a blog, we'll do an ebook. Tell us what you want, we'll do it. Now, instead of going down that route, if you thought about it, what would be the unmatchable value proposition here? All businesses know to some extent that content marketing works, but there's 100 moving pieces. If it was as easy as paying someone to write a blog and magically you start getting traffic, everyone would be overnight millionaires. But that isn't the case, right? That's why as a content marketing agency, I would much rather go a little bit broader, cover the entire value chain, which is we will research the right keywords, write the articles, SEO optimize it to some extent, and distribute it. By showing that you cover the entire value chain can actually sometimes be very beneficial, especially in cases like content marketing, where without the entire value chain, the value will not be realized. Point number 4 is charge a premium price. Now you might be thinking, this is way easier said than done. And honestly, I would have agreed with you. You see, reflecting from my own personal experience from building my agency in the past, we started off believing that the main reason why customers came to us was because of our competitive pricing. I mean, after all, our operations were based out of India. So it just never felt right to charge a premium for our services. But in hindsight, when I think about it more and more, the main reason why the top 25% or so of our customers were doing business with us was because we had an unparalleled knowledge of HubSpot, and we had this unique ability to take that knowledge and turn it into actual business outcomes. So honestly, if I could go back in time, I would get rid of the bottom 75% of my customers and much rather would have charged the top 25% 4 times what we were charging them. Because in hindsight, I really think they'd go for it. So the key point here is never be afraid to charge a premium price, especially when you know what you're offering is extremely valuable. Now, point number 5 is give an unbeatable guarantee. Now think about buying, let's say, an Apple product, right? When I buy a MacBook, I feel extremely assured because it comes with this guarantee that my laptop's not going to break, right? Nothing major is going to happen to it because, I've used a MacBook for quite some time now, and I know overall it's fairly reliable. But as a first-time customer, that guarantee that, for the first year, anything happens, we'll replace your laptop. Nothing's going to go down. That puts your customer at ease. It gives them the peace of mind that this is not only a great offer, it also comes with this assurance. And finally, point number 6, a flexible payment model. Now think of a situation where your customers sold on your offer, right? They know that it makes sense, it solves a real business problem. Now at this point, you ideally want to remove as much friction as possible from their decision-making process. And having been in sales for quite long now, one of the biggest aspects of friction at this point is the pricing. Because if the pricing is not flexible, it can actually make or break the deal. Now, I'm not saying that you should be able to offer completely flexible terms to every single customer, so charge someone a retainer, charge someone a fixed price, or charge someone by the hour just because that's what they prefer. But instead, what I'm saying is your default payment method needs to be almost like a no-brainer. It should be so easy and so comprehensible for your customer that it feels like it's a no-brainer. And as a result, you get rid of that friction. A great example here is this agency I came across called Design Joy, which offers unlimited design tasks for a fixed monthly price. This model is extremely relatable for the customer because they're used to paying their employees a fixed monthly price, and in theory, they can get an unlimited number of tasks done. So point number 6, keep your payment model flexible. These 6 learnings are going to be my guiding pillars as I think about crafting the offer for my own agency. And in the upcoming videos, I'm going to be doing just that. So if this sounds exciting, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Let's build your agency's GTM together.